Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, going to be a match between INnoVation and Rogue. Top left of Romanticide, it is INnoVation. And in the bottom right, we've got Rogue. He's red and he's Zerg today. Rogue competed in the finals of GSL Code S Season 1. He faced off against Morrow, but as of this recording, I'm not entirely sure who won that. So maybe Rogue won. Maybe he lost, but I figure the interest in Rogue is very high, so I'm going to cast this game for the interest and because I love ZVT. Alright, so INnoVation, he's had a pretty good year. And by pretty good, I mean he finished in the top 4 of pretty much every single Premier tournament that he competed in. But never a Final 2, never a win. But INnoVation is consistent, and he can beat anybody in the world on any good day. So we'll have to see how this goes. 1 Racks expand here for INnoVation, 16, 18, 17 here for Rogue. Overlord searching for proxies. Everything is a standard. And the music is intense. Do you ever think about how the people who wrote the music for StarCraft had to create it so it had some intensity, but kind of lower intensity at this stage of the game? And then kind of like try to figure out how to time the higher intensity points to be during the game when stuff's happening. Like, that's impossible, right? Every game has different high points of intensity, but they had to do their best with it, you know? Kind of had to do a one-size-fits-all kind of a scenario. Anyway, Reaper expand here from INnoVation, not going for the Marines, which are fairly popular these days, but you can't make a Marine every time, or else the Zergs will just stop making those early Lings, and then their economy will be a lot better, and nobody wants that. So this Reaper's name is GPU Scalpers. Emperor Mengsk wanted the RTX 33090 Ti Super for his Cake Wars 2 The Game streaming PC. However, he learned the only way to buy one was to buy one from a scalper for 6 times its MSRP on Space eBay. Emperor Mengsk might be the richest person in the sector, but he's also incredibly cheap and petty. So he sent scalpers to the Reaper program so the government could cease their impropriety and seize their property. Good one. I like it. Man, the GPU scalpers. Nobody likes those guys, right? Nobody does. And it's still a problem, too! I cannot believe it is still a problem. Nice micro moving the wounded Lings back. Every elite Zerg player on Earth knows how to do this. You wait for the queen to pop out. It's very boilerplate stuff at this point. So no kills for GPU scalpers. So I did watch a Linus Tech Tips about this as the third base comes down for Rogue at about 2:30, standard timing from him, where Linus talked about how this is not a failure of production, right? The parts for these cards were, made to order as they were ordered, for the year 2020. However, the demand spiked so much from people being stuck at home, needing a PC that's able to allow them to work from home, or maybe somebody in quarantine just wanted a good GPU so they could play the latest games while they're in quarantine. And so the demand skyrocketed through the roof, and demand couldn't keep up because demand was just meeting what was estimated for the year, which would have been enough in a normal year. But we know 2020 was insane, and that screwed up the demand, and as a result, now it's hard to get a card, and GPU scalpers are the worst scum on Earth. That's how it worked. Amazing. So I don't know. I haven't seen any videos from Linus talking about how this is going to resolve itself, if it ever will, or an estimate as to when that will happen. I just don't know, and that makes me sad. It's a humongous bummer. Anyway, GPU scalpers, he's running around. It's all the way back home. He's meeting up with his Hellion buddies to try to get some more damage done. There's a Liberator in production. This Overlord, got speed. Scouts everything that's happening. Sees the quick third CC. Sees a Liberator in production, probably a Liberator based on the No Tech Lab or Reactor. I mean, that's not guaranteed, but probably. Hellions, do they want to YOLO in here? Okay, now there's 4 queens. For a second there was 2, then suddenly it doubled real fast. So no, not interested. Overlord scouting this position anyway, just to see who's coming in. This Creep Tumor providing a bit of buffer along this area that the Hellions are going to have to contend with. Free Tumor, though! That was a bad time for Rogue to try to throw a tumor out there, but third base landing from INnoVation. The timings here are super crisp. Inno looking good today. Additional barracks for that bio play. And this group just sharking around. Basically, they own map control right now. Lings can't get out there and do anything. There are no roaches. It's a Baneling nest finishing up now, and a lair coming in after that. So these guys have map control. That said, if they dive in here, Okay, they're diving in. Oh, that queen pops out and blocks them from escaping. Okay, some of them get blocked from escaping. A Reaper dies first. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, my gosh. I mean, they're not YOLO Hellions. 4 of them did manage to escape, but the Reaper and 4 of them did go down. So, it could have been worse. 5 drones down. Decent trade from Inno. I would say Hellions come back home. We're going to repair them is my question. Lings are trying to shark on in here to this third base, but see, the Hellions are alive. So this is not as viable a situation as it would have been if the Hellions had all died, right? If there was just a handful of Marines here, I think the Lings would have tried to go for it. But the Hellions are here, so the Lings had to back out. Incredible stuff. Fourth base coming up low ground from Rogue. Creep spread amazing. Where is that? Did the Liberator die? I missed the Liberator dying. Sorry. I imagine there was probably an attack in here. Or the attack in here was distracting from a Liberator attacking over this way. The Spore has a kill, so definitely that was the Liberator kill. So a couple of the drones died over here as well. So, 5 kills for a Liberator and 4 drones. Or 4 Hellions. Blah. That's what we're looking at. Not great. Not terrible. 3.4 Rotogen. Whatever the number is. Starting the Great Wall of Supply Depots up here at the third base, trying to see what's what. Changeling drops down. There it is. Changeling behind the orbital. Actually doesn't get killed. I feel like Inno note. Okay. Our Changeling buddy's like, I could have sworn you saw me turn into a Marine, but if you want, I'm along for the ride, I guess. I've never seen a Changeling live this long. Usually Changelings, especially if they get dropped down directly in enemy bases of Zergs, they die in about 3 seconds at the longest. Average lifespan is probably 4 seconds. Okay. So the spy absolutely is telling Rogue where the army is at all times. Okay, they're on creep, so that counts for some vision too. But I cannot believe this Changeling is just hanging out. His name's Steve. Steve the Changeling is just part of the Terran army. Look at this. Backside, front side. The tanks. Why? Why would you try to siege up in this situation? Okay, so the tanks die. The Marines are still a bit of a threat, but without any siege tanks, this gets a lot easier for Rogue to handle. I say that as his fourth base is under direct attack, but see, no siege tanks means you can get in real close. All the Hellions are dead. I think all the Hellions are dead. No, there's 2 Hellions remaining somehow. I don't know where they are, but drop it inside the main base, trying to get a Spore. They get a Spore, which allows them to evacuate much more quietly and easily than if they were at a Spore shooting at them. Queens can't chase, and 1-1 finishing up here for Rogue. Okay, so not bad from either player. Hydralisk's coming in. Actually getting 1-1 is Rogue for his Lings and his Banelings, and maybe Ultras if he goes that route. So going to be a lot of Banelings in this game is my assumption. That's probably a pickup scenario. There we go. Inno being a little bit late on his pickups, but getting there on time. I recently actually just posted a ZVT featuring Cure and Solar, which feels a little bit like this game, to be honest with you, right? Solar ended up going for Lurkers. INnoVation, or Cure, went for a lot of Marines and tanks and Marauders and stuff. Oh my gosh, there's more Changelings here. I don't understand why Inno's not seeing the Changelings in this game. It's honestly freaking me out. Like, why is he missing them? I don't know. Maybe he wants Rogue to see what he's doing? That's a canceled base if I ever saw one. Yeah. Army coming up to deal with it, but too late. Once again, going for that surround, but enough Marines protecting the tank so both of them stay alive there. The Hydra's not in number enough to handle this. Enough Ling Bane here. Ooh, nice target fire on that Baneling clump. Now the tanks are going to die because everybody ran away from them. I mean, if you want your tanks to live, you got to stay within their general area, which means you got to stand and face Banelings, which means probably a better idea to run, which is what INnoVation is doing for sure. And the kiting here is on point for INnoVation today. I got to tell you that much. He's doing a great job getting the most value out of his units. Inno. Fourth base, low ground, planetary fortress upgrade done. Honestly, looking pretty good here. Okay, just ow. I say that and he loses everything he had on the ground right there, but he's got another army ready to rock. Not as big of a deal. Rogue taking a 5th base. Here about the 2 o'clock position on the map. infestation pit on the way. Still no Lurker Den. It feels like maybe it's going to be more of a Lingbane Hydra style, which is pretty darn viable. Obviously, Rainer's the one that made Lurkers super doable against Terran, but it usually requires Nidus networks. Which, spoiler alert, Solar did not use any Nidus networks with his Lurkers, so they weren't as effective as they could have been. Another attack rolling in. The tanks are going to die, but is anything else going to die here? Some Marines here and there. Actually, wow, we're going up a ramp? Rogue. Wow, okay, man, that's why Rogue's the master and I'm not. I totally assumed that Rogue would lose that battle going up a ramp against a Terran opponent with that many forces and tanks, but nope. Rogue totally won that battle. He's still down 151 to 144 supply, but he's replanting bases. He's making drones. He is making a Lurker Den. Ooh, and a Ghost Academy. So spoiler alert again for the Cure versus Solar game, but that is something that INnoVation, or rather Cure didn't do, that INnoVation is doing, is make ghosts. So I'm not going to tell you who won Solar versus Cure, but I can tell you there were Lurkers used without Nidus, and there were the response from Terran was this, but without ghosts. So I don't know. You tell me who won that game, huh? Maybe check it out if you missed it. It did post a couple days ago on the channel. On this one, wherever you're watching it. Okay, it's just a couple days ago. So yeah, Lurker Den coming in. INnoVation. Very nice Sim City. Are we going up this ramp again? Yeah, I guess there's enough. There was enough to make that happen. So in a beautiful Sim City here. Just nice lined walkways. Good places for units to pop out and not get stuck on anything else. Very, very good. Very interesting to try to mimic. If you're a Terran player. Wow, Rogue's really oversaturated on workers. He's got 84 workers. But Inno with the big time advantage in income. That's got to be just a ton of mules that were dropped somewhere. I don't know where, but it was mules. Cloak on the way from the ghosts makes them so much better when they can be invisible. But it does take energy away from steady targeting. So I don't know, do you want snipe or do you want to be invisible? But porque no los dos is what they always say. I don't... Oh no! So many banelings! Banelings, 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 oh! God, if you know that song, you've been around the StarCraft 2 scene for as long as I have, if not possibly longer. Although, I don't know. I got into StarCraft 2 during the beta, so it's hard to be too much earlier than I was. Rogue scares me, says Fruit Bunker. Can I leave? I hear you, buddy. Look at this, INnoVation's expanded again. Rogue trying to keep up in the top right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total bases for Inno. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bases for Rogue with a 6th one on the way. Creep spread okay. Again, the goal is to connect bases. The observer TKL responds with a shh. No more tears. Just sleep. These guys are funny. More funny observers, please. Oh, this is a Wardiii cast, by the way. Check him out. Links in the description to his Twitch and his YouTube channel. He is a much more successful YouTuber and Twitcher than I am in every aspect. He casts professional games for professional tournaments live. He runs his own tournaments, which is incredibly awesome. And he was nice enough to share these replays with me. So go check him out. Leave him a comment on his YouTube videos. Say that Falcon sent ya. He'll appreciate that. He's a good dude. All right. Enhanced Shockwave on the way. High-sec auto-tracking. Building armor. A Nidus network is coming in out of Rogue. All right. So Rogue's using Nidus networks. So we got Nidus networks and we have ghosts. We have the two things that make this particular composition versus the other composition pretty good. So this should turn into a pretty fantastic match. That said, oh, those changelings died. They're not as lucky as Steve the Changeling, that's for sure. Difference here. Oh, we did Baneling bust the wall, but didn't do anything else. We're going to repair the wall and everything's fine. The range on Lurkers when they have the Seismic Spines upgrade is actually farther than the snipe ability of Ghosts, which lore-wise makes no sense. You would think a sniper rifle has a further range than spines coming out of a Lurker, but not true. For game purposes, that's why it is the way that it is. More changelings up here, man. Rogue's really trying to make this thing work, dude. He's like, the changelings have gotten away with a lot today. Can we do more with it, maybe? Is he going to get through? Oh my gosh, he got through the wall. All right, well, that's a dead tank. I don't know if much else is going to die here because there's an army generally ready to murder these lings. Spines. Wow, what the heck? Missile turrets. Spine crawlers, missile turrets, whatever you want to call them. Lurkers wandering over to the left side base trying to kill some stuff. Got 2 kills. Nidus Worm coming up down here to the south just to put some fear of Zerg into the Terran. Zergling here all by his lonesome. Oh, his friends have arrived to kill more of these SCVs. Nom, 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 nom. And then blah, all the lings die. That's the sound they make when they die. So both players maxed out. Both players have a pretty decent bank at this stage of the game. Rogue has more workers, but that kind of hurts him on army size if you're at 100, right? His income is awesome after INnoVation was forced to pull from this base entirely for a second. Nice network up north. Okay, so we're going to do Nidus South and Nidus North. Makes it easy for you to just kind of bounce back and forth between different sections of the map faster than INnoVation can get there, even with his speedy metavacs. So there's nothing in this Nidus Worm. Surprise. This group gets wiped out. Lurkers. Oh, the steady targeting on these lurkers, though. Can you reach across the... Somewhat. You can kind of hit one of them, but not the other ones. Actually, going after the missile turrets for detection purposes is really smart. We just Nidus down here, and there's nothing coming out of this. Oh, there were some lings. This ghost is injured, but he's got 10 kills. So the ghost defended the day there. This attack for Minnow is looking pretty scary. So many overseers because he's really worried about the invisible ghosts. Like, same reason there's a lot of scans for the invisible lurkers. Both players going for the invisible men play here. See, but lurkers unsupported by anything really can't survive out in the open here. Is he going to focus down the hatch? Parasitic bomb gets tossed down on them. Metavacs. And focusing. Oh, you know what? The hatch is dead. That's it. Couldn't save it. Not here in time. Rogue a little bit late to the party and really can only make INnoVation run away. No banelings here at all. But a bunch of lings, and they do have adrenal, and they are very, very scary. These lurkers are still here. I feel like lurkers or ghosts were sent to deal with these, and it didn't go well for them. But there we go. These ghosts took them out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy with that snipe ability. This poor command center just wants to land. That's all he wants to do. Why can't he land? Well, it's because life is unfair, I'm afraid. Possibly the unfairest. Ooh, Metavac gets sniped. That's the only thing there is to kill Metavacs is Hydralisks right now, and Parasitic Bomb. So 6 of them have died, and there are 12 in the sky right now. Snipe, snipe. Beautiful. I don't know, there's something very satisfying about the snipe animation. Burrow some wings in here. Scan to kill him. Is he not going to steady target, or... that worked out. Nobody else died, I guess. These lings are still burrowed. Very sneaky. Very sneaky stuff here. I still think 95 workers may be too much for Rogue. Oh, look who found these. INnoVation. Attention to detail. Way too strong. So this base is dead. That is just Blinding Cloud, Banelings, Hydras, Planetary Fortress down. The question is, do you want to stick around with all these ghosts? The answer is no. And so, oh, this tank survives. He was protecting the planetary. The planetary went down, and he's still alive. He has survivor's guilt, that's for sure. INnoVation, what feels like mostly a ghost composition here, and like a handful of Marines and 2 Marauders. With a million Metavacs, just kind of sharking around. There's another changeling that INnoVation is not killing here. Hey, southern base down. INnoVation, big time attack down here at the same time. Ah, the changeling does get murdered. All right, INnoVation. Starting to figure it out. Starting to figure out there's a lot of changelings running around, and he needs to kill them. Can't necessarily blame him for that. Steady targeting. Oh, Lurker's high ground. Problematic. Banelings do not do bonus damage versus Ghost because they're not light. They're psionic. But still, Lings with 3/3 upgrades and adrenal glands chomp them up pretty quickly. You don't want them to get surrounded by anything. This base somehow gets replanted despite literally having a siege tank to defend it. I feel like Rogue should be able to come in here and wipe this out, but he seems to have his attention elsewhere, which is entirely fair. INnoVation is keeping him busy. Income tab for the last 5 minutes, largely favoring Rogue. Pretty heavily and getting worse. Ooh. Hey, remember when I was like, Rogue can send some units over here and handle this? He did. Although the command center's already done, and so it can just lift off and be safe from these lings. Excellent work. Another base attempted to come down here, gets murdered. Snipe, snipe. Changeling, changeling, changeling. Overseer's in oversight mode. Just making sure the ghosts can't sneak up on these lurkers. This base is just having the roughest time of the day here. Another Baneling bust is just not getting saved. The Banelings are actually saving themselves for units down this way, so that the Hydras can actually finish off the command center, or Banelings as necessary, but 11 more SCVs go down. It's 64 to 94 workers, but to be honest with you, that's kind of better for Inno. It allows them to have a bigger army at maxed out, and Rogue isn't maxed out. Okay, he just made 6 lurkers and 3 Banelings and 9 Hatters, and now is working on getting maxed out. But this top, oh my gosh, this is another hatch going down. There's already been 3. The 4th hatch gets, hang on, is he gonna save it? That's a lot of Zerg, man. That is an immense amount of Zerg. Okay, saves the top right base. Rogue, you animal. That was fantastic. Ghost Squad versus Overlord. They did have to use a snipe. This base is going to die for the 4th time today, it feels like. Yep, it's toast. I don't know if they can set up here forever because there are Liberators in the mix, and Lurkers hate those guys. Or gals, as Liberators would be. This base. Oh, Lurkers burrowed on it, and then there's an Overlord pooping creep, so it can't re-land. The Overlord-Lurker combo, surprisingly underrated. Man, these ghosts out in front are kind of amazing. What I sort of wish Rogue was doing right now is throwing down some fungals on these ghosts, so they couldn't steady target and stuff, but you do have to worry about EMP, which is bad. This is looking actually pretty good for INnoVation, man. Nobody has a bank as far as minerals go. If you don't have any minerals, the gas is not going to help you too much. These changelings getting assassinated with pure extreme violence. Dude, these lurkers, though, the steady targeting today. Trying to burrow in, but INnoVation targeting down. Forcing Rogue to pull back. This is amazing. INnoVation trying to expand. Wait, this is the same one. Still can't expand. There's still an Overlord here. Don't mind us. Trying to expand to this bottom left base. He's been working on this for about 10 minutes, it feels like. And finally, he might be able to do it. INnoVation's kind of controlling this bottom left-hand quadrant of the map. Top right looking pretty strong for him, too. Oh, Inno's down to 56 workers. Once again, this may be helping him because he has a lot of orbital commands. See just random orbitals here? He can use to call down mules. He doesn't need as many SCVs as he did in the early stage of the game as a result, which means his economy as far as SCV count can be lower, but his economy overall can be just as good. That said, this is what the income tab looks like for the last 10 minutes, so maybe I'm way off on that. Perhaps I'm way off on that. Seems entirely possible. 9 more lurkers on the way from Rogue. Again, nobody has much of an economic advantage as far as bank is concerned here. They're both spending. They're both fighting and bleeding and dying and replacing their armies. Dude, these ghosts cannot just all die. Okay, they're running. Ghosts are expensive, man. He doesn't want them to die for nothing. That Marauder ate about 5 Banelings so his friends could live. That is a hero Marauder. Top right, though, INnoVation getting his revenge, taking down this hatchery. Bottom left, Ghosts owning it pretty effectively, sniping Overseers as necessary. So that base is toast. What is to defend this base? A whole bunch of lurkers is what? That's many, many lurkers, actually. Fair. Entirely fair. This base is trying to run from these Hydras. I don't know if there's a place you can hide, buddy. Hydra's still attacking. Hydra's still attacking. Hydra's still... 2 Hydras attack. Oh! Up! They had it! They had a spot right here where they were attacking, and then they pulled back to this angle and let it go. But it's going to burn down, I think, anyway. There's probably not any saving that. So many lurkers, but guess what? Liberators, a siege tank, Marauders, Ghosts. Not a ton of anti-air here. It's a lot of Marauders. It's bonus damage versus lurkers. The lurkers do bonus versus them as well, though, so you really don't want to stick around. It's like a Roach versus, well, I guess it's just a Marauder versus lurker scenario where you do bonus damage against each other. All right, man. Rogue going for it. Burrowing in. Brah. Brah. Trying to set up missile turrets in this location. Actually succeeding fairly effectively. The detection is there. You don't actually need scans. So that went really well for INnoVation. This... Lings and Hydras and Lurkers are coming down, but it's not enough. This base is going to die too. How many hatcheries have died today? 6 hatcheries have gone down. It's 166 supply for Rogue. He doesn't have enough money to remax here. The sniping micro by INnoVation is godlike right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's some of the best sniping I've seen, perhaps since Bjorn really started using it versus Ultralisks back in Heart of the Swarm when Ultras had 8 armor and Terrans were like, they're impossible to kill, and then Bjorn's like, yeah, just snipe them. And they melt real fast, and Terrans are like, oh, you're right, Bjorn. And then they nerfed Ultras anyway to give them 7 armor, which is still pretty good. It's fine. Is this another dead hatch? Dude, Rogue's just been consistently late on defending these hatcheries. That's a 7th hatch killed today. 142 supply here for Rogue. INnoVation is getting some of the best trades I've ever seen in a ZVT today. It is 71,000 resources lost for Rogue and 44,000 resources lost for Inno. Which, oh, and GG! The final snipes. INnoVation comes in, finishes off this group of Lurkers that are defending Rogue's, I think it's his final source of income. So they're running away. These guys move in and recognize Rogue must be low on army. Comes in, scans the high ground. Look at that. Look at that. Bam. INnoVation, you absolute beast. You monster. You took him down. Impressive, impressive display from the Terran. And see, ghosts make all the difference. Ghosts make literally all of the difference in these matches. They really do. If you're dealing with Lurkers, I know they outrange your ghosts, but you can steady target them if the ghosts don't have vision to hit you. Take advantage of that. Scan them. If there aren't any overseers around, snipe them from distance. 1 or 2 snipes will take them out, depending on their HP levels, and then you win. Okay, yeah, but if you end up killing 7 hatcheries of a Zerg player and you only lose a planetary and 3 command centers on your end, you're doing all right. If you're a Terran, that's a pretty good kill-death ratio on total bases. 48 and 49 workers ended up dying. But, again, INnoVation could get away with a lower worker count, losing them early. He was okay with it. Again, it wasn't super healthy. I mean, look how much red there is up until the last couple minutes here, which makes a lot of sense. End of the day, the army for Rogue was 5 Lurkers, 15 Hydras. I mean, yeah, it's a problem. 4 tanks, 9 Marauders, 2 Liberators, 27 Ghosts. He had 27 Ghosts at the end of the game and lost 36. That's amazing. 27 Ghosts is a massive number of Ghosts. I kind of like it. Great game. Honestly, fantastic match. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this match because, wow. Oh, that was so good. All right, well, Ghosts, great kiting, great lifting. No Spire today from Rogue, I think might have been a bit of a mistake too. Being able to kill more medevacs would have helped him a lot. There were still 12 at the end of the game for Inno. He lost 10, but 12 is a decent number to have. Great. All right, so that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.